I don't know about y'all, but like when I heard about Roe v. Wade, I was fucking shaking, right? I'm fucking angry. Y'all should be too. Bring the people in your community, talk to people around you, right? Like, this is just one thing, right? Roe versus Wade, but this is really about the right to privacy. What the fuck happens next? What is coming next, right? So this is really pivotal, right? And it's a critical moment to organize like across like different movements, right? This is a moment for cross-movement solidarity, right? And so I really would love to see that from you all. Thank you again. Yes, thank you so much.
Roe v. Wade will be overturned. There is no doubt. A woman's right to get an abortion is in jeopardy. In Louisiana, yesterday, they barely killed a law to make abortion homicide. The Texas, can you hear me? Or is this, the Texas law She's been doing that for 12 years, getting me on track when I go off base. So the Texas law is basically engaging bounty hunters to hunt down people who participate in reproduction health. You turn someone in, you can collect money. So that's the attitude that's going on around the country. Roe v. Wade is being threatened and will be overturned. You have to listen to what the judges say. Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, and Brett Kavanaugh, all. My feeling exactly. In their Senate confirmation hearings, confirmed to the Senates that they absolutely believed in precedent. They extolled precedent. Of course, precedent is sacred. We have to respect precedent. Well, there is very few precedent longer standing than Roe v. Wade, 49, 50 years. And those three justices are out front to ban or to overturn Roe v. Wade, and they will do it. So, how do we respond? Colorado responded. We stepped up and passed 1279, the Reproductive Health Equity Act. We had 12 hours of hearing in the Judiciary Committee where people came up pro and con, for and against the Reproductive Health Equity Act. And we were respectful, we maintained decorum, but ultimately all of the Democrats voted to support the bill. All of the Republicans voted against the bill. So the message I'm trying to deliver is we need to be here today, we need to be here tomorrow, we need to be here all summer, we need to be here on November 2nd for Election Day. Activism doesn't stop at Acacia Park. It has to be full-time every day to work in support of the candidates. Ask them the tough questions. Where do you stand? Where did you vote? Where were you when the Reproductive Health Equity Act was presented to the Colorado legislature? It went before the entire Senate, and I can tell you there was not a single Republican vote to support a woman's right to choose and a right to get an abortion. Not a single one. It is an absolute cultural issue on the Republican side of the aisle. So if you want to continue the protection of a woman's right to choose, reproduction health, and abortion, I urge you to get registered, get your friends registered, get your kids, your supporters, your neighbors registered, and vote. We have passed the easiest voting rights law of any state. You can get a mail-in ballot, and we have a 90-some% turnout. So we're trying to make it easy, but democracy is messy and it's tough. So you need to stay engaged, you need to contribute, you need to walk for the candidates, you need to persuade, you need to hold fundraisers, you need to donate. I'm not making a political speech, I'm just saying, if you want to protect your rights, you got to support the people who are going to do that. And not just the people. Planned Parenthood and NARAL are in the forefront of this fight. They are the ones that organized the proponents at the Capitol to bring testimony. They're the ones that organize these astounding coalitions to get these bills passed and to protect the right to abortion in the state of Colorado. Support NARAL, support Planned Parenthood, and support the candidates that agree with these positions. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So for those that don't know, just a couple of years ago, I think it was like summer of 2020 or fall, ICE authorities, Immigration and Customs Enforcement authorities at the Irwin County Immigration Detention Center in Georgia were found to be performing forced hysterectomies on immigrant women. By December of that year, more than 40 women had come forward stating that they received invasive and unnecessary medical procedures under ICE's custody. Some of these women had been complaining to ICE about this misconduct since 2018. This story to me reflects a grotesque and long pattern in the so-called United States of the forced sterilization of marginalized people, particularly Black, Indigenous, immigrant, disabled, and gender non-conforming people. I am fucking tired of this government. I'm tired of this government making decisions over the bodies of people of color. Overturning Roe versus Wade would seriously jeopardize the health and safety of women of color and non-binary people of color seeking abortions. We already face disproportionate barriers in accessing reproductive health care services. Even here in Colorado, right, where we do have RIA, and you know, just to remind you all again, RIA is a law that just passed this year that secures our right to abortion here in our state. Even in Colorado, right, abortions are not necessarily affordable for low-income, especially low-income communities of color. Nationwide, people of color have lower rates of access to health care and reproductive care due to many systemic barriers like financial resources, cultural and language barriers.
This draft opinion holds and overturns Roe versus Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Acacia. It not only strips women and pregnant people of their personal autonomy, but opens the door to erode more fundamental rights. As an organization that believes in the power of women to create a more perfect democracy, we will fight to preserve the individual rights of women to make their own reproductive choices. The Supreme Court opinion in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization is an affront to our values that support access, to health care, reproductive rights, and individual liberties and privacy. If this draft opinion is finalized as leaked, it will be an unprecedented blow to women and will put the reproductive health of millions in danger. This opinion is also a direct attack on Black women and all underserved communities who already experience unfair barriers and limited access to adequate health care services.
There are two sides to the story we get to tell today. One side that has the privilege of marching with the movement that is motivated by the legacy of this country's improvement, the side that is standing on the shoulders of justice warriors who in the 60s already worried for us. Then there is the side that is standing with the legacy of control, regression, and those who feel it's okay to lie in their job interview and then betray. I have a really hard time with the distinction that only one side gets to claim pro-life. The distinction that argues there is only one way, because let me tell you with so much certainty I can say I am also standing on the side of life today. I am standing with lives on death row. I am standing with Black lives, with missing and murdered Indigenous women, with LGBTQ and immigrant and disabled lives, with families who do not and should not be required to have the means to travel to obtain health care. With children in this country's foster care systems, education systems, and every single life who deserves the same concern, care, and courage our opponents are so willing to give to an unborn fetus. I am standing on the side of life today with women, trans men, non-binary folks, and every other person in this country with a uterus whose body this decision will affect directly. Because this issue is not pro-choice or pro-life. Can't you see the way it is to me? When you look closely, the two sides look a lot more like pro-control and pro-equality. So I am standing with you all on one very specific side of the story. And when I think about human lives, the votes of the 5, the outcomes, or who gets to claim glory, I know with every fiber of my being, we are standing on the right side of history. Thank you.
So just pretend that I'm Lena. I don't know what she looks like, but just pretend that this is Lena. All right. Hello, my name is Lena. I am speaking as a proud employee of Planned Parenthood, the largest abortion provider in the country. Wait, there's more. I am also your neighbor, your friend, a mother and grandmother, and your fierce ally. As Coloradans, we are fortunate to live in a state that values our bodily autonomy. With the recent passing of the Reproductive Health Equity Act, we can breathe a collective sigh of relief that we are safe in our choices to use contraception, to not use contraception, to carry a pregnancy to term, to not carry a pregnancy to term. We can be confident that the choices we make are ours and ours alone to be made and carried out safely. More importantly, our BIPOC, LGBTQ, and homeless populations, those living in poverty, and our children not only have access to reproductive health care, they have access to safe, judgment-free reproductive health care. Sadly, that is not the case across our country. We are at a crossroads in our nation, a place where we must decide if we will allow a minority to determine the future of those that are the most underserved and vulnerable. Abortion is healthcare that every individual has a right to access. Healthcare that, when offered in a safe environment, brings freedom and power. Freedom to make our own choices, the choices that are right for each of us individually, and the power to inform our own destiny. Our patients deserve the very best health care, and I believe we are all gathered here today to show our community, our leaders, and our nation that we will accept nothing less than the best when it comes to the health, welfare, and freedom of our patients. Remember, abortion is still legal and will remain legal in Colorado even when Roe falls this summer. If you have an appointment, keep it. If you need an appointment, make one. Our doors are open and they will stay open. I stand with Planned Parenthood. I stand with all of you. Thank you, Lena. Stephanie, let's give it up for Stephanie.